You hear that phone? I should take these headphones off. Because I'm not hearing anything out of them. Alright.
This is the organic intro that everyone wants. So, this is Hip Hop Made Me Do It.
No, I'm going to start it off. Alright, DJ Toasty Z, you already know what the fuck it is. It's Hip Hop Made Me Do It. If you don't know, now you know. We're rocking the third ever episode. This is the third? Yeah. The third ever episode of the Hip Hop Made Me Do It podcast. I just had to check. And I'm really excited. We're actually with the young brother over here.
Not young brother. We're almost the same age. I'm Charlie.
I didn't mean like young brother. I meant like young.
Like not old.
Like young.
Yeah,
I was trying to be like cool, hip-hoppity.
Yeah, we're cool. I'm the young brother.
And
Charlie.
We need to come up with a DJ name for you. I'm DJ Toasty Z, and you are...
Becker.
Becker Beats. Let's call you Chuck for now. Do you like that, Chuck?
Young Charles.
Young Charles. I like that. It's very regal. Very regal.
Very unoriginal, too.
Royalty. Young Charles and DJ Toasty Z in the building.
King Charles would be good.
King Charles. I feel like Young Charles is very like Sir. Like Sir Charles.
Well, that would be Sir Charles.
Yeah, but like young makes a hip-hop.
Yeah, well, I should do Sir Charles.
That's what makes a hip-hop.
Yeah.
So...
Originality.
You might be saying last time we did it live from, not the living room,
Toasty's Casa's basement.
The basement on the couch, and we tried to switch it up. And I don't know if you can understand, there's boxes behind him. We're live from the sauna. Now, my whole life, my parents had this sauna. Only used it for storage. When I went to college, they finally decided we're gonna actually use it as a sauna.
We used it like once, I think.
And now that I'm out of college, when I come home, they're using it for storage again. So I never got to fully embrace the sauna. But you actually inspire this because you've actually been using it to make music.
Yeah, I'm an up-and-coming rapper, which means I just make music by myself, alone. And using the sauna. And I guess the theory behind that is a small contained space, less sound room for noise to bounce around. There's also a lot of shit in here, which makes it good for that.
Absorption. Have you noticed a difference when you record in here?
Not to be honest, not really, but I feel like it's better than just in the open living room, or not the living room, but downstairs. It's like really open down there. For sure. And I don't know. I thought it'd be funny to do it in here. We actually have the door open so we can have the camera, so it kind of defeats the purpose of the noise cancellation. But I thought it'd be funny to do live from the sauna. You can't see it, but there's a thing of coals right here. I don't even know if they're coals. They're just stones. It's stones, but they heat up underneath so that these get hot, and then it heats the room up that way. Have you actually been able to use this as a sauna? No, but Mom was telling me to use it so it would not be ice. It's like cold down here. It's cold as shit. There's no heat. So we're wearing socks because our feet would freeze. But she show me how to turn it on so like I wouldn't be cold down here. But it makes this ticking sound, so it picks up on the mic. So not really good for recording. Not great. I picture you in the sweating in the booth, headphones on. Yeah, wearing a robe. Yeah, that's me. So first, I want to just start off with a little bit of housekeeping and updates. Hip Hop Made Me Do It updates. We don't have sponsors yet, so don't worry about that. We're not going to give sponsors. But first thing on the agenda, Hip Hop Made Me Do It tees are now out. Let me pull this up to the camera. You already know, America runs on hip hop. We got the double cup right there. The first ever Hip Hop Made Me Do It merch. We got the whites, and we got the pink. You know how we come through. We know how to come through. If you're trying to cop, we have only one or two smalls left in each size, so, get on that. I think we're all out of XLs, at least pink. We're all out of pink XLs. We may have a couple more white XLs. We got mediums, plenty of mediums, plenty of larges. hiphopmademedouit.bigcartel.com. You can cop there. We're doing $20 shirts and $5 for shipping. So if you want to support, if you like those shirts, buy them on there. DM me. If you're local, I'll just run them to you. If you're local to Western Mass, do I get one too?
At hiphopmademedo _ in Instagram and Twitter. We talked about it. You get the family discount if you want one, but
I like this.
We'll talk about that after the podcast. This was a Toasty Design original as well. I like it a lot. Enough self-promotion, but
for sure.
At Toasty Clothing on Instagram, I think I changed the tag too. Couple other things, like I said, we got that merch. Yesterday I went to New York two updates. Yesterday I went to New York, did two great interviews with Biscuit of Authentic Wear. Really cool dude. We talked about Authentic Wear, how he got started into making clothing. Just a really good time. Met him up at his crib in Brooklyn. So expect that. I'm hoping to get that out on Friday. Hopefully, I don't even know if I'm going to get this out before I get the Biscuit interview out. And then I also went to Off Record. I was fortunate enough to like finally make it to Off Record. There's been a lot of magic happening there for people that don't know. Tony Seltzer, A-Loud cooking up some fire with Harry Fraud.
A Harry Fraud.
I'm really waiting for that Ski Mask Offset Famous Deck song to come out.
Hey.
That's gonna be fire. But yeah, I went to Off Record and I interviewed Chobby Chan. Cool dude out of Far Rockaway doing his thing, part of 360 gang. I don't think it's 360 gang, but it's just 360. So expect that interview soon. You should move your feet. Remember the tapping. We're in a very like rickety setup. We have this like folding chair. We learned that you can't tap on the table from the last podcast. I mean, I kind of knew that, but we're making it work. I have a full podcast gear right now. We're just using Charlie's mic because I don't have it on me. But
this mic works fine, just so everyone's clear.
No, it works fine. But I'm just saying, if you like don't have separate mics up to your face,
right.
If you tap on the table, if you tap on tap on the ground,
next time.
It's a good mic. I'm not dissing your mic.
Okay, just making sure.
And the last housekeeping thing is I'm actually taking a trip to LA. Really excited for that. Half a leisure trip, half Hip Hop Made Me Do It trip. I've talked just like doing interviews. I'm going to be doing a bunch of interviews, podcasts. I haven't confirmed. I don't want to like spoil anything because I don't have anything 100% confirmed. But I've talked to people out in LA that are down to do interviews. So expect a lot of cool things coming out in the near future.
When are you in LA?
So I just booked the flight, and that's happening I'm leaving on Saturday, and I'll be there till Thursday. So, a good 5 days, almost a full week. And before we jump into like the discussion portion, I also want to just touch on the state of hip hop. Maybe do it. Just so you guys know, all you listeners out there, I know that this podcast probably only get like 50 views or whatever, but I've been in a kind of weird, tough place recently. I've been in a job that's you're gonna make some noise with that shit. Your feet. You can't tap.
What are my feet doing?
It's shaking the table. I feel like it's gonna be registered on the. I'm just a perfectionist with this shit, but not to sound like an asshole to my brother, but hopefully it doesn't come off that way. But yeah,
That's fine. Continue on with your plug.
It's not a plug. It's updates. So, been a like I said, a tough place, very draining job. Living alone, feeling a bit lonely. And Hip Hop Made Me Do is always my escape when I, if I had a shitty job, shitty situation, always something that motivated me and something to work towards. But it's, tough to stay motivated when you're, doubting yourself and, you're in a job that you hate and, it's making you question everything. So long story short, I quit my job. I'm actually moving to Providence and I have a new job lined up. And I'm really feeling a lot more motivated. So expect a lot more content. We're going to get the weekly vlogs going again. That originally stopped because my camera broke. And then I just haven't been doing it recently. So more weekly vlogs. The goal is weekly vlog. Get to the point where we have a weekly podcast. Like I said, I have all the gear, 2 microphones and audio interface to actually start doing a weekly podcast with different guests. Weekly interviews, I've been pretty sticking with that, but the goal is to do an interview a week. Also a goal of monthly concerts. I only did the one in West Mass, the NSP show in January, but the goal is to actually do one once a month. Like I said, I've been working hard to try and establish myself, or not myself, but establish Hip Hop Made Me Do It in New York and also in Boston, which is obviously going to be a slower process, but the goal is to eventually get to the point where we're doing one show a month in Boston, New York. And now that I'm moving, to Providence, potentially Providence, and not one in each city, but alternating between the 3 cities, and just kind of putting on the local artists in the area. Once I get more accustomed to the Providence scene and know more artists out there, I think that'll be a, future down the road. But expect hopefully some shows in New York and Boston with some dope local artists. Also hoping to host some music videos and, you know, so if you have music videos that you want to host on the channel, hit me up, email me, hiphopmademedo.wma@gmail.com, or you can, just like I said, DM us at hiphopmademedo_ on Instagram and Twitter. And then hopefully looking to put out a Western Mass mixtape soon. I don't have a set date for that, but hitting up artists about putting together a collaborative, kind of like a DJ drama-esque tape of all the dope artists out of Western Mass.
Like a Khaled thing?
Yeah, a Khaled thing. Just some tags. Have fun with some DJ drama tags, and potentially like link.
Oh, you're gonna do like that shit talking stuff he does on Dedication?
Yeah, talk shit. Yeah, I mean,
I like
the
that.
goal is eventually. I mean, DJ Khaled, what he kind of does is he'll match like a producer with a rapper, and I don't know if I'm gonna do that, but it's cool. I think that would be cool, but like for now, the first step is just to do a tape where it's just like a bunch of artists send me some tracks, and I like add tags to them. I maybe chop it up a little bit, nothing crazy. Yeah, I mean, the main goal is to just make Hip Hop Made Me Do It fun again. It gets to a point where, if you're working a job and then you're doing this and you're working really hard and you're kind of in your own bubble doing it yourself, it can feel like a lot of like hard work, and the fun of it kind of gets drained, and it's like then you're just like, oh, well, what's the point, and I realized that collaboration and working with different people is what makes the work so meaningful and makes it so fulfilling. Now, so my goal is to just take hip hop, maybe do it to the next level, and make it something that goes beyond myself. And basically, with that being said, if you're a graphic designer, an animator, if you do video production, editing or filming, photography, a writer, I'm looking to launch the Hip Hop May Do It site with some actual like written articles. If you have any of those skills, web developer, and you're interested in collaborating and really helping to build up and being a part of Hip Hop Made Me Do It, I'd love to have you and collaborate with you. If you have any of those skills, or if you're just looking to contribute, if you really fuck with what we're doing and you want to be a part of it, let me know, and I'd love to figure out ways that we can collaborate. So like I said, DM me at hiphopmademedo_, and I'm really looking forward to the future of Hip Hop Made Me Do It, taking it to the next level. I don't know if I had any other notes in regards to that. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Like I said, hit me up at hiphopmademedo_. Like I said, want to take, like I said, Hip Hop Made Me Do It to the next level. No matter what you can commit to, I'd love to collaborate with more people, and even if you just want to do a little bit, I'd love for you to be a part of Hip Hop Made Me Do It. So that's what's going to really make this a success and really make it something that's truly meaningful. How's the focus look? We look good, yeah. You're just like right in the light, so it's just like...
Well, I glow naturally.
You're glowing,
so
yeah.
Really...
It's all good. You got that natural glow. So, first topic we had... Let me just make sure...
You ever like crave a certain food randomly?
Yeah, what are you craving right now?
Dried apricots.
Dried apricots?
When you were talking, I was thinking about dried apricots.
Oh, it's nice to know where your head is.
Have you ever had...
I kind of went on a little solo rant there.
It's alright. I think the DJ Khaled thing I was just going to say was like, I don't think that what you're doing is dumb. I just think he gets so much credit for putting producers and stuff together.
Yeah.
But I think if you did that, that'd be cool for like Western Mass producers.
Yeah, Gabe Gill, actually, shout out Gabe Gill. He thought like, oh, I should do that. And I was like, yeah, that's like the more work version of what I want to do. But it would be cool to do, but it's just a matter of like, it'd be a lot more work. So started off just doing like not even a collaborative tape. I would just say like I said, a mixtape of like different artists that like send me songs. And if you're an artist out of Western Mass, send me some new unreleased stuff that's super fire. Don't give me any throwaways. Give me something that's super fire you just don't have a place for. Like I said, put out this collaborative tape. I was thinking just like put it on a SoundCloud, or if we put it out for sale, just have all the profits go to the individual artists, and maybe a little to the Hip Hop Made Me Do It, split evenly, but full disclosure. But now let's see. So Lil Boat, we were going to talk about. You're a Lil Yachty fan. Lil Boat 2 just came out. I listened to it on a ride down to New Jersey.
On Friday.
On Friday, yeah, and I just want to know what your thoughts are on the tape.
Well, I was really excited because I'm a big Lil Yachty fan.
Just talk to me. Yeah. Don't look at the camera camera. It's fine.
I like Teenage Emotions a lot. And even if
wait. I just remember when we did the podcast, you're like, I'm here with Charlie, and he's like, hi. He's like, hey. He's just like, just
for sure.
Kind of like we're just talking.
For sure.
For sure.
But like I liked it a lot. Even people that like Lil Yachty think it sucked.
Yeah.
Which I don't like. I don't know. I just like it. Like I just think it's like so fun.
This is Teenage Emotions.
Teenage Emotions. I like a Star. That's the first track.
Yeah.
I just like. I don't. I mean, the rapping's okay, but I really like when he like the rapping songs or the Little Boat songs, which is what he's supposed to be when he's rapping. Were kind of shitty. Like they weren't structured well. He had the one where he wasn't on tempo. Peekaboo was repetitive and trashy. There's a few others, but they don't really have choruses. But I just like when he's melodic singing. Like that's my favorite Lil Yachty. So I was really excited for Lil Boat 2. I had work Friday. I was like, I'm not gonna listen to it on deliveries because I drive around for work. I was like, I want to be at home, like sitting down like a weirdo. So even though it's Lil Yachty, but still. So I do that, and I was like so disappointed. I thought it was like, he's every like. First off, there's no melodic songs. There's 2. I have 17. And he's just doing this like hard, cold-blooded rap like cadence, where he's like just trying to be like the fourth Migos and be tough. But every song just sounds like a generic trap album because every song just sounds the same. You listen to the first 5 songs, I was like, oh no, like everything was so descriptive. Like here we go. He has T Grizzly feature, and D to the A was like so fire. You heard D to the A? With T Grizzly?
No. Is that on the album?
That's just like a single from a few
I just listened
ago.
through it and I was like, I just like barely like registered any of the songs. They kind of was like, it wasn't even like terrible. It was just like nothing stood out. I listened through it and like I couldn't even name a song because like there was nothing that stood out about it. And it's interesting because the way I saw Lil Yachty, Lil Boat came out, and on paper, I should have hated that album. Like over-the-top auto-tune, not very lyrical, very basic beats, and like that's not normally the stuff I gravitate towards. But there was something about it that it didn't take itself too seriously. It was just goofy and fun and like a little bit childish, not in like a insulting way, but it was like carefree fun.
Am I supposed to talk to you and you're supposed to talk to the camera?
Sorry.
Is that
so? It's a you know what? I'm not used to doing a podcast in the sauna. Yes. Oh, this is actually much more comfortable. And then we have to talk into the microphone, which is facing this way.
Yeah.
What we should have done is back and forth with the table right in between. Let's do that right now, actually. That probably makes more sense. I'll put the pop filter on my side because I'm more likely to yell into it. All right, mind this noise. Look at the. You guys should see what the thing looks.
The sound for me is much quieter, which you can probably hear.
All right, let's put that right here. All right, so that's probably better. Oh, are you jammed in there now?
I'm pretty jammy.
Yeah, well, let's give you some space. Can you
you.
put your legs down? Maybe there was a reason that we did it this way.
I forget why we did it this way.
Oh, here. You know what?
I have an idea.
Little adjustments mid-podcast, and we're not even going to cut this out either. That's the funny thing.
This is raw.
This is raw, because I don't have time to edit shit out, unless it's super bad. All right, that should be good. All right, so that way we can talk and still.
I just interrupted you. I apologize. You were talking about you didn't think you would like it.
Oh yeah. So it was very kind of a bit childish. Nothing really stood out about it, we're talking about two different things. Okay, no, it was childish, but in a very carefree way.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just it was goofy and fun, and part of me was I love this, but I think it's a fluke. Then Teenage Motion came out.
We had summer songs too, but I don't know.
I'm just talking full length. That was an EP, right?
No, it's full length. It was the same as Lil Boat.
There were some decent singles off of that.
Dipset.
Shoot Out the Roof.
Dipset.
I don't remember that one.
Offset? Okay.
I didn't listen to the whole thing. Shoot Out the Roof was cool. I saw him live at South by Southwest. I was like, all right, this is fire. That's not kind of unrelated, but... Then Teenage Motion came out, and it was just a mess. He was offbeat.
It was really good.
It was just a mess. He was offbeat.
It was so fun.
He's they did the Genius video for Harley. He's yeah, I just freestyled 3/4 of that song. And he's Harley, 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 Harley,
I don't like
Harley.
that one
It's
that
like,
much.
okay, that's not a free. Like, okay, that's not even impressive if that's a
Bring
freestyle.
It Back's so good.
It sounds like you freestyled it. Bring It Back.
There's just some of those songs that like
Bring It Back.
I can listen to them like a year later and they're still like so like I would listen to Bring It Back right now and I'd be smiling the whole time. Like it's just so fun.
Okay, so that's my opinion. So I thought Bring It Back was kind of a mess, and to me, Lil Boat 2 is just boring. It's just generic. It's like he went from like being goofy and eccentric and like pretty unique, because he took it to the extreme, to being like a complete mess, like and like no like quality control. And then Lil Boat 2 just seems like boring, lazy, and generic. So like, I guess my question is like, I feel like 2016 was like the year of Lil Yachty. Like that was like 2016. That's when he blew out, and he was like that was the year of Lil Yachty. Well, I guess would you say like,
I get the vibe.
How do you think he can bounce back from this? And like, cause he's like I said, you know, you even if you like Teenage Emotions, you realize that it's kind of a mess. You realize that like.
Well, I just had a good direction, but I like most of them. But I've realized like looking at it, I like about half the songs. It's just that I love those songs so much that I kind of forget like, oh, I don't like Peekaboo. I don't like Harley. I don't like you know, there's those other ones I don't remember the names. There's some that I barely listen to, but I think when I look at like his career, like what he's dropping, and they're playing with quality control, it feels like the label is doing whatever they can to keep him afloat and keep him relevant. Like they're like, okay, like they feel like they had their hands on him. Where like, all right, make this like, make the Migos album, be the fourth Migos, make this like skeleton like tough guy album.
Well, even Peekaboo sounded like a Migo, like it sounded like Bad and Bougie Part 2.
Yeah, but like just like because people will, like obviously some people are like this is generic trap, but the general audience will be like, oh, I can vibe with these songs because it sounds like everyone else, which is what would be successful. And then they'll have him have features where like he's gonna drop a tape soon with Takeoff.
Yeah.
He's on the mixtape that's coming up called Glacier Boys with Gucci Mane and Migos again. Like they're trying to like clump him, and then he was on the Quality Control collab several times with Migos. Like it's kind of like just trying to like give him as much push as he can, like hopping with the Migos and keep him together so he stays relevant for them.
So do you think that like people are just over Lil Yachty, or do you think that his music has dipped? Because I think the quality has dipped.
I think the quality's dipped tremendously. I don't think people really like the music he's dropping, but then again, like I said, I think people like the general audience will be happy with this over Teen's Emotion because it was just such a wreck. But also generic trap. So anyone that likes trap music and doesn't care if it sounds like the other 50 albums released, then they'll like it. So.
Well, even Teenage Emotion only sold like 48,000 copies,
and that's also why
that's like really bad for someone that's as big as he is.
That's
like,
why I think the label
terrible.
did that. I think the label made him make this type of record to play it safe, so he doesn't flop.
Yeah,
like make it safe and generic. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know. So like, what would you say? How do you think that like Yachty can bounce back from?
Make like the fun, happy songs like Lil Boat 1 probably. I don't know what the next project would be. Maybe he'll release I know where they are, but they're a bunch of collabs.
But do you think like do you think people are? I feel like his quality's dipped, but also I feel like 2016 was so dominant and it was just like oversaturated, and like I don't even know if he went back to like that sound that like people would still be rocking
Summer
with
songs.
as much.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't know. Oh shit! I just dropped
know.
the headphones.
Oh.
You pick that shit up.
Hope they're okay.
Yeah, they're fine.
I just know I don't know if you go on Hip Hop Reddit a lot.
Or
Hip Hop Heads. That's like the Hip Hop Reddit page.
Yeah, for sure.
When I look at that sometimes, I'm looking at the first impressions, and like about half the comments talk about how like go back. Where's the Good Perry? Good Perry is like his best friend.
Yeah.
He produced a whole lot of Lil Boat 1, and then he made those reductions with that vibe.
Yeah.
They're not friends anymore. You know, they don't follow each other on Instagram, and they have falling out of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh, he's not the same without Perry. But I don't think you need that guy to make Bubblegum Trap. He just needs to go back to that. And I think if he had more mainstream like features and he still made that sound, I think it would still like people would like it still.
Yeah, I just don't think that he's like. I mean, he has a bit of versatility compared to some artists. Like, he can do, like, the singing shit, and he can do the, you know, more, like, fun rapping. But I don't know if he has enough versatility to actually even make that work now going forward. Because, like, I don't think he could... I think, like, he needs the same fun-loving vibe and, like, that made it unique. But I don't know if... Like I said, to me, Lil Boat, the mixtape was kind of a fluke for me. Like, I knew that, like, I'm gonna like this. I fell in love with it, but I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a fluke, and I don't like anything else that he puts out in the future. And I guess also, like, a bigger question is, like, do you feel like Yachty's still relevant? I know, like, 2016 it was all anyone was talking about, but do you feel like Yachty is, like, even that relevant anymore?
I think all anyone's talking about is how he's almost done. Like, 4 more years. Oh, he's almost done. This is it. This is his last chance. Like, before this came out, they're like, this is the last chance to, save his career. So I feel like he's not really that relevant as much as he's just trying to be relevant and stay relevant as much as he can. But apparently, like, he has a lot of hit songs.
Yeah.
But none of them are his songs. Broccoli with Tram and I Spy with Kyle. But he still gets a lot of requests for features. Because last night I watched like a 45-minute interview about Lil Boat 2. He originally had like 22 songs on it. He cut several, which was a surprise for quantity control or quality control. And he cut a few extra love songs, and it was an interesting video. It's like on Genius. Some guy talking to him about it for like an hour. I don't know what the whole point of that was, but yeah, I don't think he's not really that relevant anymore. I mean, he's trying to be, but I think this tape's done well so far. Like, do
you know what the sales number? Like, I mean, it just dropped, so I don't know.
All I know, I mean, you gotta wait until
do you know projected?
But like on Spotify, most of them already hit 1 million. Or they all hit 1 million. Their song with Trippie Redd is like the biggest one. Like, look for like 6'6" with Trippie Redd to be like, I don't know how big it'll be, but that's like the biggest song.
Well, but I mean, the streams always like, how does that compare to the? I mean, Teenage Motion, I'm sure has streams.
They have to wait for a week.
Like, but the streams are different than the sales because I mean, if Lil Yachty didn't get 1 million streams on his songs, it would be.
Well, I mean, it's about not hitting 1 million, so when you hit them, I mean, like hit them already.
Yeah.
Like after Saturday.
I got you. And because that came out on what, Friday? It officially came out.
So it's Friday.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it with that, unless you have any closing thoughts on Lil Yachty. Lil Boat. Yeah, but I hope he could get back to that Lil Boat, the original Lil Boat sound, and make something happen. Are you alright there?
I feel like I'm so quiet. I look at those sounds.
No, you look fine. Talk.
I'm talking, but the sound. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you look fine.
I just look at it and.
Yeah, you're projecting actually pretty well. So
good. Yeah. I think it's more when I'm excited and fired up that I.
He's fired up.
What about
Ric Flair? Woo!
Teenage Emotions is the best album.
Look at that. Hopefully that didn't peak in your ears because that was pretty damn cool.
Of it.
Woo! All right. Yeah, it looks fine.
I think Teenage Emotions is the best album I've ever heard.
All right.
Just saying.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
No comment on that statement.
Good.
And okay, so the other thing is like this whole Lil Xan story. It's kind of been beat over the head, but like Lil Xan was doing an interview and he said that Tupac. I don't know what the context was if they played him a song, but he's like, yeah, Tupac's boring. He rated him like a 2, or like his music's boring. You give him a 2. And Waka Flocka and T.I. were like, or Waka. I don't know what T.I. said, but they were like,
Waka's banned from hip hop.
Yeah, Waka's like, Lil Xan's banned from hip hop. And I guess like the media's always looking for something to have a frenzy about. Do you really think that this is a big deal at all?
It's a big deal because it kind of annoys me.
But it annoys you? What annoys you?
The opposite way. It annoys me that everyone is so upset this guy had an opinion that they don't agree with. Like, he's not allowed to share that he thinks the guy's music's boring because it was so big for you growing up, or he's so influential. It's like, if he feels it's boring, he feels it's boring. I mean, he's like my age.
Yeah. And I also think that to an extent, I get where people are coming from. And it's like, there's a big difference. I think it's like a little bit of like a miscommunication / like bad journalism. There's like so many outlets that are trying to like get you to say something and that they can take and twist and to make you seem like, I'm saying, like they just like want a juicy headline.
That's the thing. Why would they ask that question, right? Either you say, what do you think of Tupac? He's good. I'm a big fan. Like, what do you expect him to say? You don't want it controversial.
They want like the new heads to be like, oh, I don't like with Tupac.
Right.
Or they want him to be like, yeah, I really mess with like Tupac. Like, Famous Dex has been so about like, yeah, I make fun music. Like, go if you want real music, go to listen to Jay-Z. Go listen to, Tupac. Go listen to Kendrick. But it's like, they're asking these young cats because they either like, the easy answer that everyone says is like Tupac's the greatest. Blah 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 blah. The only reason that they're asking these young cats is they know that they're gonna say some stuff that people are gonna get upset about.
Yeah.
And I also think, where's the line between, okay, I understand the disrespect part, but it's like, disrespect versus being honest. Now, I would never go out here and just trying to be negative and like slandering anyone or like. There's plenty of artists that I don't like, and I don't really say much about that shit. Except looking back, if we did the worst rappers podcast, I wanted to do like that more about like why rappers are hated, and some of it with our opinions a little more just like why we don't like certain rappers.
I don't understand what's like disrespectful. Like, okay, let's say Eminem's probably like, I guess, is a legend, right?
Yeah.
So, if it's basically what the general consensus is, right?
Yeah.
So if you say the Revival album sucks, Eminem sucks as a rapper now, right? That's not disrespectful, I guess. No one will get upset about that because everyone believes that.
Yeah.
So if your opinion is unpopular, then it's disrespectful, basically.
Yeah, and I think that the video has stopped, of course, because it goes to 30 minutes. All right, let's start this video again. Start the video again.
Should I repeat what I just said?
No, I think we got all of it. I'll just loop it in. Anyway,
comment.
And I feel that 100%, and I also have to ask people, like, would you, like, straight up, like, if Tupac, like, obviously, like, respect to the dead, but, like, if Tupac hadn't died, would you really consider that disrespectful? I think that, like, as soon as, like, these individuals die, we put them on a pedestal as, you know, the greatest of all time, and you can't say anything about them. He didn't say anything disrespectful about his, you know, like, insulting... I don't know. He just said his music was boring, and he's entitled to that opinion. But just because he's, like, passed away,
right,
you can't say anything that disagrees with the consensus of him being this savior of hip-hop. And don't get me wrong, I love Tupac. Tupac, one of my great favorite artists of all time, but it's like, what's the line between disrespect and just sharing your opinion? And I'd love to hear you guys' opinion. If you want to drop in the comments your thoughts on any of these topics and weigh in, because I don't think there's necessarily a right answer, but I think that it wasn't intended as disrespect, but people are always going to take certain things as disrespect when they're not intended.
I didn't even think about the death element, because that's true. I think it's also because it's like he can't defend himself kind of thing. So you say it, it just hangs out there. And I think it's really just as simple as like how you say it. Like when Yanni talked about, I think it was Biggie in some video, he said overrated. Maybe it was Pac, one or the other. And he said overrated. I think if you just say like, I feel like he's overrated, or instead of saying it's boring music, if you just said I just think it's boring music.
Well, it's the thing. The publication asked him like rate him out of 1 to 10, I think. So he's like they're trying to get him to like not even slip up, but they're trying to get him to say something that's
boring
like
music.
Yeah,
I think it's how you say it.
Yeah, it's how you say it. It was like,
and not a statement. Say like I feel this way, kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to tiptoe around those issues, I think.
Right.
Which is like, it's whatever. I don't think it's as big deal as like a lot of people are making it out to be, and it's like, it was more annoying that people were whipping it up into something that was like just so.
When I saw Waka tweet that, I literally just figured it was him just trying to get buzz, like controversial with his, like people know he tweeted that like, I mean he's relevant just because he's been around so long and he was so influential for Flockabilly, but like he hasn't done anything recently. I feel like when I see him talk about dissing any other big time someone who's big, it's like trying to get people to talk about Waka because he wants this Flockabilly 2 thing.
I think he's done just different things. My thing is like, I watched this video about like how Waka was like basically the same person. Like Waka had a similar situation where he said something like that on the radio about, you know, lyrical rap and like how he's not lyrical, and like a couple years ago Waka was Lil Xan as far as the same situation, and like he was being judged, and now for him to be like, I know what you're saying about like he felt like Waka felt some type of way, but it's like a couple years ago you were like the same guy, like you were in the same situation where people were like you're not lyrical, you're not respectful, you know, like So he had a similar thing. I think with the beef was with like Method Man or Redman or someone from I think it was Redman, someone from Wu-Tang. I was watching a video on it, but it's like you were in the same situation a couple years ago, you know. So it's like it's whatever. I don't know. I don't have any other thoughts.
I just saw Xan tweet at the end, not the end, but like a few days ago, saying I'm just not going to do any more interviews. Just keep my opinions to myself, which is like kind of sad. It's like
so I'm sure I guess the hip hop made me do it. Lil Xan interview will never come out.
He's getting like just we'll see. Maybe when he was like 30, and he got over this. But I think it's just like shitty. Like I'm sure he gets so much like so many DMs and so much shit about it still.
Yeah, for sure.
It's his opinion. It's stupid.
Let's see. Other news we could talk about. So, brief news. Not much discussion. Young Thug is now changing his name to Sex.
Very exciting.
Is he legally changing it or just his like?
No, stage name. It's not Young Thug.
Well, wasn't he like gonna change it to Jeffrey?
He was trying to push the Jeffrey thing, but I don't think it hit for people, and they kind of just stuck with Young Thug. So he's trying Sex now.
So now he's Sex. It's weird because he's also like very I don't want to say like very. I don't want to like make any judgments, but like he seems very asexual in a lot of his behavior, but he's also very like bending of gender norms as well.
I don't know,
and so it's weird for him to be like
asexual just because he wears the dress.
No, he's just like talked about like not being that interested in like. I mean, he talks about girls in his music, but there's been like some things where interviews where he just like seems very not interested in sex.
Bisexual or maybe neither.
Who knows? But like he's an interesting character.
Out there.
He's an enigma for sure. He's quite the character.
You want to talk about the Tory Lanez thing?
One other brief thing. Also, Martin Shkreli, as part of his court case, losing his court case, he has to release the Wu-Tang album, which I don't know how they're gonna do that. If it's just gonna be like a physical copy, because like he was the one that bought it for like millions of dollars, the only copy of that album, and I feel like all this hype around it and like.
How old is this? I'm not really that familiar.
This was in the last 2 years. They were doing like an auction and like.
But
to the highest bidder, they made like one physical copy of the album.
Okay. It's not an old album.
No, it's a brand new album, but it's like I don't even know if I want to hear 2017 Wu-Tang. Like I don't even know if it would be like I feel like there's so much hype around it, and it's like their last real album. Like I think I listened to like one of the songs. Like I don't know if I listened to the whole thing, but like there was only the one song that was a flip of an older song. I want to say Marvin Gaye, but I don't want to be wrong. Some classic song that they flipped, Better Tomorrow, and if I don't know if I just totally fucked that up.
How do you not know that song?
But
I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, I don't really think that like after all this hype, if it finally comes out, I'm like, is it really gonna be that much? Is it? It's not. There's no way it's gonna deliver on the hype of like this whole story that bubbled around it. You know?
Has he listened to it?
Yeah, and he's like teased also. Like I don't know if he teased Wu-Tang tracks, but he teased songs from the Carter 5. Which he has like.
How did he get that?
He's bought them from Lil Wayne. Like he has like.
How did he buy it from Lil Wayne?
He has like. They're not like official. I don't think they're like official studio cuts. They're just like raw cuts of like songs that he has, and he's like played them on live stream, but he doesn't really release them. He's just like a way for like people to like. He's just trying to get attention with it and like have people like listen in and shit.
Can Lil Wayne really
watch
do that?
Him live stream?
Isn't Birdman the one who would sell it to him?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what the legal situation with that whole situation is a mess. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think the next thing would be that would be good to discuss is the Tory Lanez situation. So for those that don't know, Tory Lanez just dropped his album. I don't know what it's called because I really couldn't care less about Tory Lanez.
Memories don't die.
Memories don't die. So he just dropped an album, and there's a song on that album. I write down notes. Hopefully, you won't. You don't got a problem with that. But I want to make sure I got my shit correct.
There's notes here.
So it's "Hate to Say," and is the name of the song. And basically, there was this controversy where two different rappers came forward, and basically claimed that he stole that song. So this came out this last year, and then this rapper 6 Seconds came out with a song 303 in March 2016. So. Like I said, almost exactly 2 years ago. Meanwhile, so he was the first guy to come out and said, "Yo, Tory Lanez stole my track." And we listened to both tracks, and the sample's definitely the same. The drums and the hi-hats might be a little bit different, but because the sample is so distinct, it's kind of like the only thing that really stands out with the song. And then another rapper came out recently, R-Mean, R-MEAN. 6 Seconds also is spelled V-I sex. So or is it second spelled out? I don't know. But he came out with a song Preem, Pream, like cream with the dots. And
I didn't even think of that. I just saw Preem.
And it also has the same beat and like maybe a slight variation. And it has a question like, did Tory Lanez really copy it? And where's the line between like sampling and copying? R-Mean had put out a tweet that claimed that the producer that he works with used to work with Tory Lanez, and he claimed, "I know Tory Lanez has heard my stuff," which is all just like him saying that. But yeah, it's like, where's the line between, obviously hip hop is very sample based. Where's the line between like drawing inspiration and just being straight sampled? Looking at both these artists, like they both have videos, a couple videos that are in the hundreds of thousands of plays, tens of thousands of plays. So they're not nobodies. It is possible that Tory Lanez did, in fact, see their tracks and hear those tracks, especially if like what his name is, Cream? No.
Cream.
No, the name was Cream. Armin, especially if Armin, producer worked with Tory Lanez, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like, where's the line? Like, everything obviously comes from something as far as like inspirations, and it's like, where's the line between sampling? Why are you staring deadly into my eyes?
Trying to show them listening.
Where's the line between like sampling and inspiration? I don't know. You listen to both the tracks, like they pretty much all the tracks. They seem pretty much the same.
The Tory Lanez one, I think the hi hats were a little like, they're more prominent than the other songs. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I just didn't pay attention. We listened to that 1/3, so I wasn't sure. I just didn't hear them. Wasn't trying to hear anything different.
Also, you pointed out Tory Lanez had some gun noises in the beginning.
Right. It was very different because he had some gun sounds. But I guess it's probably just a little naive. But like, I don't really understand what when they say clearing the sample, does that just mean paying whoever made it?
You have the sample, and obviously you're gonna like make a song, and then in order to get like, everyone has to get paid in order to like legally put an album you sell. Like, it's different than like a mixtape where artists will put it out and they're not like directly making money off it, so it's like a legal gray area, and like that doesn't, people rapping over YouTube beats and like other people's beats and remixing them. As soon as you're selling it, it's like you need to clear that sample, and like that person has to get paid either like a straight up fee or like royalty checks for a sample. And it's weird because like there's certain producers that'll do, straight up, you can buy a track and you just own it. There's rappers that'll do leases, which I'm like still a little confused by the leases. It's like, if you're leasing something to like how does that work?
Paying?
I guess you keep paying them monthly, but can they lease it to someone else as well? And like, I don't know, producers, what's your opinion on this, and how do you run your business? I'm curious. Drop it in the comments.
I've seen on YouTube when they have like the beats.
Like, I feel like it'd be weird. Like, sell it, that's theirs to use. A lease, it's like, I don't think you can lease it to more than one person. Maybe once their lease is up, you can use it on something else. But like, then what happens when the lease is up? Like, can they not sell that track anymore that they made, or like, can they not put out that track?
Let's say someone buys their beat, right?
Yeah.
And they make a song, put it on SoundCloud. They're amateur. They might get like 2,000 plays or something's really small.
Yeah.
And then someone else puts it online. They haven't bought the beat. It was sold to this other guy.
The same song, or you're just saying the beat?
Same instrumental, yeah. But it was already sold to someone else. They sold it to some guy, and that new song blows up. But the producer and the artist can't release it as a real song because the other guy bought it.
Well, so that's what I'm saying is like, if you're a producer and you sell it to one guy,
right?
Like, okay, like normally, like I put out a tweet like, "Yo, send beats for the radio show," and like I put the email in it, and some bot retweeted it, and then I got mad emails of people trying to just sell me beats and like add me to their email list. And they'll send a sample of the beat, or they'll send the beat with like the tags on it. And like, obviously some rappers can't afford to buy beats, and they're just like, all right, I'll just take this, rap over it, like same as like YouTube beats, and like put it out. Like, free beats. Especially if they're putting it online, they're like, I'm not selling it. Yeah. If I ever get big enough that
free beats
that like this person finds out, then it's like,
when they say free beat, usually you can put it on SoundCloud or whatever, but just put the producer, give them credit, like produced by da-da-da-da-da.
For sure. So I think that, I mean, as a producer, you shouldn't be selling, if you're selling your beat to someone, you should be selling it straight up. Like, you can't sell it again, obviously. Like, that's
like
weird. But also, so it's a matter of like, was the producer just like not, on top of his business and either sold it or sent it to one of them and they used it without buying it? Right. Like, what was the situation? Like, we don't have a clear detail.
I'm just curious if like a song blows up and they are not the owner of the instrumental and it's a free song online. Unless they get the other guy that bought it to let go of it, they can't sell the song.
If you put out an instrumental and you said free to use for whatever, and then someone uses it and makes money, and the producer doesn't have any legal claim. I get what you're saying. If someone put out a free beat and like two people used it,
if someone they sold their beat to someone, that song they're a shitty rapper, right? They don't do well. Some guy just finds the track online, sees it sold, like, all right, whatever, I'll rap for it on SoundCloud and put it up. Who cares? And he's like, dope. And then that song blows up. He gets like 10 million views, but he doesn't own the instrumental, so the producer and that good rapper can't make money.
That's definitely elite. Like, you're definitely taking someone's beat. Like, it's a great, like, the reason that it's a gray area is, like, when people put out mixtapes and they weren't directly making money and off of, like, a certain song, they were just, like, building their clout. And, like, you know, when you start off and you can't afford beats and you just go to YouTube and shit and, like, or get, like, remix, like, popular beats, but it's like, I'm sure you could, like, you have legal grounds to sue someone for that. But if you know music business and you know more about that, you should hit us up, because I'm curious. Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, I'd like to know too.
And it's also where's the line between, like, okay, there's sampling, and it's like, sometimes people just aren't doing creative sampling. People will sample the same thing and you can tell the sample right away. But if you do creative sampling, you can take the sample the same thing, get two totally different results, and not even know that someone sampled the same song. Do we know
the sample? We ever, like, does anyone know that?
It just sounds like a girl moaning, so it could be anything.
That's true.
And that's also, where's the line? Because, like, I think of, like, Trinidad James. He literally got writing credits on, well, there's he got writing credits on Uptown Funk. Don't believe me, just watch. Just for the line, don't believe me, just watch. And that's such a small phrase that I didn't even think about it. It's not very original. It's just a small phrasing. But he's getting paid mad bread for the rest of his life on that song, just for some, like, small, insignificant phrase that Bruno Mars wanted to use.
It was a big part of Trinidad's song, I guess. It was, like, on a verse.
Don't believe me. Yeah, I don't even remember.
And then it goes into the...
Yeah. That word we can't say.
Well, I just went... I feel like that was right.
No, I know. I'm just... I was just making a joke. Yeah, and it's like everything, like, obviously comes from something, so it's like, where's the line between inspiration and straight up ripping something off? And those beats sound exactly the same, minus a couple hi-hats. But I think the problem is the sample was so defining and so, like, it just dominates the whole song. We were, like, trying to figure out if there was difference between the drums and the hi-hats. Like, the sample is, like, the most prominent part of the song that stands out. So let's see, do we have anything else that we wrote down? I'd like to get it to an hour if we can.
Where are we at?
We're at 47 minutes. Is there anything else you want to talk about? What kind of what music are you listening to right now?
A little bit too. The plan is to just keep listening to it and make myself
hope you like it.
Just keep listening to it. Some of it's alright, but I've been trying to find new music, like, on Spotify and stuff. Because they have a lot of different features to find music, like Discover Weekly and the Discover.
I've been meaning to use that more.
Discover Weekly's garbage. They just give you 30 random songs that I never like. But, like, I feel like I'm just too picky with music. I'm not saying, I like, the general hip-hop community would say it's shitty music. But, which I think is really just annoying, too, because how is that possible?
What do you mean the general community?
Like, the people that are, like, know what's good music. I listen to the people that aren't good lyricists, and they suck, and they're just making music, and anyone can make the music they make, like the Stitches guy, who's not crazy big, but Stitches.
Ooh, I have a thing about Stitches. You're a big fan of Stitches, right?
Big fan of Stitches. Music's getting better.
My friend, yeah.
You ever heard some songs with NBA Youngboy?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
He got Traumatized and another one, but he's getting better.
Yeah, I mean, chances are that's the thing about, like, doing hip hop when we do it. I'm working so hard to put out content that I rarely get to listen to music, and, like, that's where the whole fun thing came into it, where it's like I used to spend hours, you know, online looking at blogs, just really taking in music for the love of the music, and it's like obviously, like, the balance of being a fan and trying to build something and, like, make it successful, and it's like it's a fine balance, and it's like. It's almost like when you figure it out, it's like almost like it almost becomes less enjoyable. Like, the experience of growing and developing is like the stuff that makes it most enjoyable. So I'm trying to get back to, like, discovering more artists and making it more music focused, but it's tough when you're trying to do so much at once. And like, you know, like I said, this is only part time. Like, so
I try to ask you, like, about an album or something, and I'm really surprised. Like, you haven't heard Bobby Tarantino?
Even, like, artists that, like, you know, I love, I haven't, like, fully, like, I'd be lying, like, obviously I've heard, Damn, and I've heard, like, have listened to it a couple of times, but I rarely get to sit down and just digest an album, listen to it multiple times, come up with my take on it, and that's why I don't want to I was thinking about maybe doing album reviews for a little bit. I did a couple album reviews, but there's never written reviews. There's very few albums that motivate me where I have a strong opinion on it that I want to give, because either I feel like that opinion's already been said, or I only say it when my opinion I feel adds to the conversation. There's a lot of either everything's been said about it already, or it's just that I don't have a strong feeling about it. I'm more likely if I feel like I have a dissenting opinion to express that as far as albums. But that's what I'm saying. If we want to do more, I'm super down to have music reviews on hip hop. Maybe do it on the website. We have a website.
We should do joint reviews. We should both.
So if you're a hip hop writer, if you have aspirations to be a writer and you want to be a part of hip hop, let me do it. Hit me up. I'd love to have some reviews on the site. Like I said, more about collaboration. What you were saying about...
Did you have a comment? Yeah, about Stitches.
Yeah. Gabe Gill, my friend Gabe Gill, tweeted out that he made this interesting... it was mostly a joke, but I think he was serious about how Tekashi is basically Stitches.
Right.
What's your take on that?
Well, Stitches' music has changed since people obviously the fans I know his music, but the average person just knows the ones where he was screaming and the game beef. But he doesn't really scream that much anymore. But I think that's true that Tekashi's kind of Tekashi's so one note. I mean, that's
for sure. It's fun.
Did you listen to that tape?
No,
It was so one note.
I don't. I mean, even what's that? Gummo is the biggest song. I don't even like Gummo. It's the only Tekashi songs I like are the stuff he's done with Trippie Redd. Everything else is just
Poles. They just had one song, right?
Poles 1469, and then he's on the song. It's spelled OWWEE. O-A-U-E, yeah. That's how the chorus goes. I don't know how to say the name of the song. I
never seen it.
But those are the only two songs I like by him, because it's he's so, like I said, he is so one note. He's
he's
such a gimmick, and his time is gonna be up so quickly.
I think that's so overrated. People always talk about these artists right currently, talking about how they're like a flash in the pan.
Yeah,
which is a weird phrase.
I think it's a reference to the gold rush, it's very rare, or is it? It has to do with it being really rare, or it's going to be gone really quickly.
It's funny. I was thinking about spray panning a pan for cooking.
I think it has to do with gold rush. I'm going to look that up.
That makes more sense.
I'm going to look that up right now. You say what you're going to say.
I think it's just they always talk about Lil Pump and this and Perp and Tekashi or 6ix9ine now, whatever, and how this. Oh, they're only relevant now. For a few years, no one's gonna listen to these people, and I feel like that's not true at all. When these people are I think in 6 years we're still gonna have Lil Pump. I think in 6 years we're still gonna have 6ix9ine. But there's still people that love this music, and I think they'll change their music the way they have to get people to listen. The amount of people that are 3 years ago that were making the trendy music, there's not that many people that are just dropping off the earth. There's Fetty Wap. Dej Loaf isn't really that relevant. But there's not many artists that are falling off. Lil Pump will be here making maybe not the same shouty music.
But dude, it's also been a year, and what people mean by that is that artists that fill this lane, there's always going to be that hot sound that comes and goes, and certain artists stay relevant, but it's because they're able to be versatile and change up their sound. And it might not be a year, but it's 2 or 3 years. Certain artists have a lifespan. And I think that Lil Pump, I love Lil Pump, I love his tape, but I also feel he has a lot of personality, but I feel also he lacks a bit of versatility, and I think he has the potential to have a long career, but he needs to show that he has some ability to be versatile, because eventually people are going to get over the Lil Pump sound.
I think you have to keep in mind that they're really young too. So he's just 17.
Yeah, no, I love Lil Pump, and he has the time, and he definitely but I think after 2 flops in a row, I think Lil Yachty it's gonna be tough for him to maintain a long career, and I think he knew it was short lived. He was trying to do the Target advertisement. He was trying to soak it up as quickly as he could.
Well, it's not. I don't think that's true. I feel you would be it's not the only reason why he took it. I feel you just take the Target advertisement because it's presented to you. No,
for sure.
I don't need this right now.
No, you know what I'm saying, but him. I think Tekashi's gonna be very short lived.
I think most of them, Zach. Like most. Of
like
these...
who would you say? Okay,
Lil Skies.
Who do you think of the like new generation like SoundCloud rap? Okay, who do you think is gonna be? Well, whichever is the shorter list. Who do you think? I guess who do you think has the potential to have a longer career and like a long successful career of the group?
Of any of these new age rappers?
Yeah. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this because I have my own thoughts.
I think Lil Yachty. I mean, that's probably pretty biased, but I think he's pretty. I mean, I'm
two flops in a row. You're like, oh, I think Lil Yachty. I think after Little Boat, I would have said that, but not after two flops in a row.
I guess he's been doing. If you can see artists doing different sounds, and he's been doing like these different these weird vocalizations with his voice, and like he's now on this new cold-blooded, boring flow, which isn't really that means he's versatile. But I don't know. I just think that it's like people assume these people will be gone, but I think they all change their sound enough to stay relevant 6 years from now. I think we're still gonna have Tekashi. I think we're still gonna have Pump. I think we're gonna have Perp.
Tekashi, every single song he's put out has been exactly the same, and he hasn't shown that he can change his sound. Lil Pump has, I wouldn't say all the songs are the same, but it's definitely a very one note, and I think I want him to be like I enjoy his personality. I think what he has going for himself is his personality, and I loved the Lil Pump mixtape, or I guess it was an album mixtape. I don't know. I found the meaning actually. It's not from Prospecting for Gold. It had something to do with like flintlock muskets, flash in the pan. Had small pans to hold charges of gunpowder, so the flash in the pan was like the gunpowder flare.
Well, there you go.
So now you know.
Gunpowder flare.
As far as what I think, for me, I would say of the new age rappers, I think that Ski Mask, Slump God, is very underrated. I don't want to say underrated, but I think that he has. Because he's a mumble rapper, but he has some quick, fast flows, and he can spit. And I think he has a very bright future, and he has like some of the biggest personality out of the whole group.
What's a mumble rapper? Because I feel like the term is thrown around, but most of the rappers you can understand. Only originally I thought it was Future and Young Thug were the mumble rappers because they were mumbling and you can understand them, but. Apparently, anyone who's from SoundCloud or their lyrics don't matter. Like it seems like anyone whose lyrics don't matter is not important for the music. Is a mumble rapper.
Someone was trying to tell me that they thought Migos was a mumble rapper. Do you think Migos is a mumble rapper?
Not really. I think it's literally just like kind of like whose lyrics aren't important. They just put him in the mumble rapper category. Like Uzi, you can hear he's not mumbling, but he's talking about no one cares, so he's a mumble rapper. Cardi, you can understand him, mumble rapper. Lil Skies, which I don't know why I keep making him up. I don't really know his music, but
I don't have anything against Lil Skies. I think that
he's just
R&B. It never like to me. I don't want to say generic R&B because I can't really even say I've listened to him enough. But like
I think he's a rapper.
The songs I've heard have never stood out. No, he's an R&B singer.
Red Roses, you heard that one?
I think so. I thought he was just a singer. Yeah.
Fast car, like NASCAR.
All right, so I think Ski Mask can have a very long career. No one else like sticks out in my man. Not that I'm saying none of them can have him, but I can't think of anyone else.
They're all pretty like trendy. That's why.
Who do you have anyone else that
you
think
I was thinking about Smoke Perp, but he's making these like auto-tune croony Travis Scott songs, but they're not good. I think like it's important to see like, oh, this guy's making this other type of music, but it might be shit music. Like I'm saying, Yachty can do this cold flow or make these sing-songy auto-tune crooning songs, but his rapping is shit on those songs. So it's like, are you really versatile or you're just doing it?
It's important to know your strengths, but also like work to develop your weaknesses or like work to develop your evolution, but also be like self-aware enough to be like, all right, I'm not good at this, but I probably shouldn't put this out, but I should still experiment with it. So when I'm good at it, I can put it out.
Okay, here's the thing: like Lil Uzi Vert, when he released his first tape with like Money Longer and stuff. I like to say that I think his music's pretty similar than it was then, and he just had this. An Exo Tour Life was a smash hit.
Well,
he's still around.
Did you hear his? Have you heard his like much older stuff?
I know he had a tape before Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World.
His stuff is like much more a traditional flow, like traditional hip hop flow.
Now
like,
or before?
It sounds like I'll play it to you after this, but it sounds like
stuff.
Yeah. It sounds like a traditional hip hop flow, and he switched it up. I think he could have a very long career. I was never a fan of him that much because like I don't like his voice as much. That's like personal preference. I like EXO Tour Life. I love EXO Tour Life, of course. And that's why I like Trippie Redd. I feel like he has like a less... He's like...
I find his voice more annoying.
Uzi Vert, but like more... I don't know. I don't think he's as annoying.
I think it's ironic because I hate how he, at the end of his lines, he's like, ah!
Well, there's a difference between artists that I would like... No, I'm sure it didn't peak. I peaked it with that when I did the woo! Didn't peak it there, but... I mean,
I did it.
Let's not try and peak the audio. It's not a peak the audio competition.
Peak trap.
Alright, well, it's gonna go... I'm gonna restart this video real quick because it's gonna go...
I think Dexter will last.
Famous Dex, I think, has the potential... I don't... See, there's a difference between, like...
Pick It Up is so different.
Certain artists, I don't listen to a full... I would not necessarily listen to a full project, but I might, like, some of their, like, singles might be some of my favorite songs. So there's a difference between... Like, honestly, sitting down and listening to a full Young Thug project, like, it gets... I find myself, like, having to, like, listen to this. After, like, 30 minutes, I'm like, I need to listen to something different. And, like, some of the Young Thug songs I love. But I, like... Certain artists I'm never going to necessarily, like, be able to listen to a whole project through. And I feel like Dex has some great singles. But I feel like he hasn't had that defining project. He has a lot of projects that I just feel like... Like I said, it's a quality control thing. I think that he has the potential to put out a great project, but I think he has put out a bunch of projects and had some hit singles in there and like some fire stuff in there. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, and some artists are going to be single artists, so it's like, I think I really, like, don't get me wrong, I love Famous Dex. Like, when he's on. So
I think it's funny that Uzi is so like he's in the same group of all these guys we've mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure he's the biggest just because of EXO.
Yeah,
and like. He doesn't strike me as any more talented than these guys are. Like, his music's... It's just funny, like, I usually, like, gauge it by looking at monthly listeners on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the best way, but he always has, like, 20,000. I think Young Thug is really versatile. I think Young Thug could be, like, a huge pop star. Even though hip-hop's kind of, like, the pop music now. Like, that's what's popular. But, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, Young Thug has some songs where... I think that what makes Young Thug unique is his ability to switch flows up. And like there's certain songs where he sounds like he could be 3 different rappers on the same track. And also I just think that like he's had some songs that are just straight pop, like sound like pop tracks, which is dope. So
I just think people people put way too much stock into like not stock, but they think people are gonna like be not relevant in a few years. Like
no,
it's so much easier.
People over exaggerate.
Once people are big, it's so much easier to just stay big than to be non-existent. Like, watch Pump. Okay, his sound gets old after the next album or his first album, whatever that is, and then he'll have a collab maybe with Ski, and then they'll have a good chemistry.
But it's like okay, it's not like necessarily that their career is going to be over, but it's like relevancy and like, sure, like there's a difference between like a little Pump, like you know what I'm saying. There's just like relevant. Like Kendrick has throughout his career. I think Kendrick will be forever relevant, and as soon as he stops being relevant is when he's going to retire.
He'll fall back to like a Juicy J role, or a Wiz Khalifa.
Well, Juicy J is an interesting case because he kind of re-upped his whole career, like a new generation that like didn't even know about Juicy J.
But I'm saying now he's kind of back to being that relevant.
I think a lot of people don't even know that Juicy J was in 3 6 Mafia, like the newer generation.
He's an old guy.
No, I just mean like, I actually like before I knew about 3 6 Mafia and I saw like Juicy J, I had to like. You know, I even looked back at it, and I'm, like, more familiar with Underground, but I'm sure, like, and, like, the older stuff, and I'm sure, like, younger cats, like, don't even know that Juicy J was in groups, or, like, CeeLo Green, like, sure, he's a pop singer, but he was in Goody Mob, like, that's original gangster, like, Underground, not Underground, what was I gonna say? What is it? Is it just called The Dungeon? Whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, Dungeon Family, like, Goody Mob, Outkast, Big Boy, even, like, Future was a part of that shit. What was really interesting, I read the Gucci Mane documentary. Definitely gave me a new perspective on Gucci Mane, like, a newfound respect. No, sorry, not documentary. The biography. Biography. You know, at one point, I forget who else, but he was supposed to be, before he went to jail, he was supposed to have, he signed Young Thug, Bankroll Fresh,
well, yeah, Young Thug signed,
and one other dude.
They
like,
taped together.
They could have, like, that's what I'm saying, like, He was like, and like looking back on that is like he could have like built an empire, like his recognition Pump? Of like the very young artists. No, he didn't sign Pump. I don't think. I thought he was just hanging with him.
I heard that. I thought he signed with 1017.
Maybe. I don't know. I know he was wearing the chain, but I don't know.
Tekashi signed with Rich Gang.
Rich Gang is Birdman. When was that? Is that like when was that announced?
It was at this like a month or two ago. Both of them were independent, and like Tekashi signed with Rich Gang, and I don't know.
Rich Gang. I was watching I was listening. I didn't have like good data this drive down, and so I was just listening to what was on my phone. So like, it was like mixtapes, and I had like the original Rich Gang mixtape, and then he like
that's fire.
Birdman was like Rich Gang, like you can tell as soon as the tracks start which ones I'm gonna like though, because it's like always the ones that are more high energy, like there's like some like more like the ones that are like I don't know. It's funny because the ad libs on that album are like Birdman being like Rich Gang, and then sometimes he's like Rich Girl.
I never heard that one.
Listen to that tape again. He says Rich Girl Gang a couple times.
Rich Girl, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. We're over an hour now. I think we always finish up at like an hour and 5. Just quick wrap up. Like I said, we got the merch. Shameless plug again. If you're trying to get these Hip Hop Made Me Do It double cup teas. You know, I don't drink lean. I don't drink, but you know, it's funny.
Shameless plug is so overrated term.
White.
No one ever says I'm shameful of this.
The only
plug.
reason you say it is so you like can make yourself feel like not bad about plugging your shit.
Make people realize.
I'm not actually shameless about it.
People want to think you're self-aware. So you're like, shameless plug, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm self-conscious, so I just say shameless plug. But like I said, that wraps up the third Hip Hop Made Me Do It podcast. Got any closing words? Any closing thoughts?
Young Charles.
Oh yeah, what are you on Instagram? Do you even know your tag? Last time you didn't know it.
Becker3738.
Yeah,
you found it for me.
Yeah, on Instagram. If you're not following us at Hip Hop Made Me Do _ Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook and SoundCloud, you can just search, it's just / Hip Hop Made Me Do It. And that wraps up the third Hip Hop Made Me Do It podcast. Stay toasty, my friends.
Have a good night.
Or a good evening. Or a good morning.
Have a good life.
A lot.
Till the next one.
Another one.
Another one.
Trying to set this up just right. Alright, this is going to be a tight squeeze. I don't know if this is going to be comfortable. It'll be funny, but...
Or make it work.
Yeah.